अस्मदाचार्य पर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरु परम्पराम्। ॐ भद्रं कर्णेभिः शृणुयाम देवाः भद्रं पश्येम अक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैस्तुष्टुवागुं सस्तनूभिः व्यशेम देवहितं यदायुः स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः स्वस्ति नः पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्तार्क्ष्यो अरिष्टनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। Let's chant the seventh mantra. Nantaf pragyam na bahish pragyam na ubhayataf pragyam na pragyana ghanam na pragyam na pragyam adrishtam avyavaharyam agrahyam alakshanam achintyam avyapadeshyam ekatma pratyyasaram prapancha upashamam shantam shivam advaitam chaturtham manyante sa atma sa vigyeyaha. This is the essence of the Mandukya Upanishad, this particular mantra, and it's a very complete. That's why we're spending so much time on it. We have still more to go. There's quite a bit more to explain. So we were looking at the ultimate validator. This is the topic that we were discussing in the last class. So I think that this is a very important topic to understand and to think about and then understand, which is that there can be only one ultimate validator. If we can just grasp this, if we do a sankalpa in our minds that I need to really understand this without any doubt on my part, because this is very, very very prevalent in the way we learn and teach, that a understanding without doubt, a understanding with doubts, it's as good as not understanding. This needs to be grasped. So the removal of doubts alone can directly tell you what is to be seen. It's like, very much like seeing the sun. Even though during a cloudy day, there is enough light for you to conclude that there is sun. Even though you don't see the sun, but there is enough light even with the clouds, and the clouds represent doubts. Is the sun out today or not? I think this sunny day just happened this morning. You know, after so many days of rain in this area, in the San Francisco Bay Area, there were a couple of glimpses of the sun in the last few days, but this morning, to see the sun without any clouds and to do a Surya Namaskar is extraordinary. You see the essence of Ishvara in the form of this ball of fire, which is so important in our lives, because that's the one that gives us the light, that's the one that gives us the heat, that's the one that gives us life. Without that, we cannot survive. So to see the sun directly without any doubts, this is an extraordinary thing. Very similar to that is seeing something even more amazing than the sun, which is the ultimate validator. You see, even in the case, let's look at the example of the sun. So the sun is, as we were just discussing, it's an extraordinary phenomena. Extraordinary phenomena. It's very, very carefully done by Ishvara. Just amazing. But you cannot see the sun without being the ultimate validator. Na suryo bhati na chandra tarakam nema vidyuto bhanti kutoyam agnihi tameva bhantam anubhati sarvam tasya bhasa sarvamidam vibhati. So the Sakshi is what that makes the sun valid. Without the Sakshi, there will be no sun. So a clear understanding. And so clear understanding means what? We can cite these mantras and talk about the Sakshi is the ultimate validator and so on and so forth. But you know, deep down below, we still think, I don't know. I'm just a small, limited person, and I have, so a lot of kind of doubts occur. So the true import of this, without doubt, which is the truth. So it's not as though you have to do something, you have to invent something. It's there. But what prevents me from really appreciating the glory of it is my own doubts. This is what we have to work on. So this is the message of Vedanta. Praptasya prapti. You're already as what you want to be, but you just have to remove your own doubts. And this is what we're doing. So it's interesting, we were looking at, in fact, there was a question from one of the students that the ultimate validator, is that the Sakshi? And I had replied to that saying yes, but. And so I was in a little bit more detail about that. Look at this part. Okay? When we hear the word Sakshi, the first thing that appears in our mind is that I'm a witness. I'm a witness of what is going on. Right? This is what appears to us. And we leave it at that. We say, I'm a witness. Okay, now what? Let's go on to the next thing. What am I witnessing? What is the relationship between Drik and Drishya? And then we keep on studying. But just we say, okay, I'm a Drik, I'm a witness. There's something more to look into that by the word Sakshi. So I ran into that explanation in one of the teachings of Swami Akhandananda ji. Just in the last 1 week, I thought that I would present that. Okay, so let's look at another meaning of the word Sakshi, which deepens my understanding without doubt as to what it is. So just look at this. So to understand this, let's begin with what happens if I want to see something. Supposing I want to see a metal cup. I want to see that. What is it? It's a metal cup. What's involved in seeing the metal cup? Just look at all the ingredients. Number one, you need to have light. Obviously, you need to have the metal cup as an object. But in order to see the object, to complete my understanding that I know what this is, what do you need? You need light, right? Then you need a functioning eye. Not just the physical eye, but the power to see. And this is what the Jnana Indriya is. The Jnana Indriya is not just the Golaka, but this is what we say, the Devata. This is the power of the Devata that allows a simple physical eye to function, to be able to see it. So you need that also. You need light. You need a functioning eye. You need a Golaka which is working. Golaka means just the physicality of it. If there is something defective, you can't see it. Even if the eye is not defective, you need the blessing of the particular Devata to see it. Okay? Then the next thing is you need the mind, antakarana. Because without mind, if you're looking at it but your mind is someplace else, you cannot see it. Cannot see it. So all these are ingredients that you need in order to see something very simple, which is a metal cup. Okay? Now, the question is, what do you need to see your dreams? What do you need to see your dreams? Do you need an external light? Do you need an object like a metal cup? Do you need your eyes? Do you need the anugraha of a devata? No, none of them you need. You don't need any one of them. The only thing that you need is your mind. Because the mind is enough for the development of a scene. The mind, along with the Sakshi, in fact, this is the power of the Sakshi in the dream, that it allows the mind to variegate itself into various scenes. There will be a sun. There will be a light of the sun there. There will in fact be an object. There will be some feelings. There will be a thinking, yes, I know this cup. Very realistically. So now we have, just look at this. The Sakshi does not need all these paraphernalia in order to see the swapna, the dream. This is the power of the Sakshi. That's why it is saying that the word Sakshi does not do justice. You know, this is what I remember reading quite a while ago by Swami Akhandananda. He said just the word Sakshi, just you dismiss it by saying, oh, I'm the witness, I'm the witness. Then you go on to something else. No, you cannot see the power of it until you start thinking about it. And, okay, so that is the seeing the dream, all right? What do you need to see that you are unhappy? You are frustrated. What do you need to see? Do you need any light? Do you need an object? Do you need your eyes? Do you need the Devata Anugraha? No. And you don't even need the mind. You don't even need the mind because unhappiness is the state of the mind that you are illuminating. You are saying, I'm unhappy. How do you say you're unhappy? Because I feel unhappy. I feel frustrated. Or the opposites. I feel very happy. I feel very relieved. So all these mental states are the ones that you see directly. Without the aid of light, eyes, mind, anything. This is the power of the Sakshi. Not only that, this is really just incredible if you really think about it. At least in the dream, you need the mind. What do you need in order to experience deep sleep? Because there's no mind there. But you see the deep sleep. Why do you say I see the deep sleep? Because I see that I don't see anything. This is an important thing. In fact, let me just point this out, since we are now beginning to look at the words of the mantra, remember? So we're going to do this, very methodically. Not methodically means we're going to go through that. Na pragyana ghanaha. Na antah pragyam, na bahish pragyam, na ubhayatah pragyam. Na pragyana ghanam. What is the meaning of pragyana ghanam? So pragyana ghanam means a complete ball of nothing. Ghana means it's kind of like a night, dark, complete darkness. So you just see nothing in the darkness, nothing. Even if you open your eyes, there are nights where there's no moon, no nothing. And you just open your eyes, you see nothing. But you know something? You see nothing. This is very important to see. This is where one has to see the sarva vyapakatvam, the presence of Sakshi, independent of time, space, or anything. So what that means is, supposing it is complete darkness. And even if you open your eyes, it doesn't matter, really speaking. Doesn't matter whether your eyes are open or not, because there's the complete darkness. Who sees the complete darkness? So the complete darkness, which you and I experience every night, and during the day also, if it's complete, not the day, but then during the night, even if we are not fully asleep, supposing it's completely dark, like you wake up in the middle of the night, it's dark. So that complete darkness, which has no detail in it, without detail, is called pragyana ghana. So if that's the case, are you pragyana ghana? This is important to see. That, as we will see, na bahish pragyam, na hantah pragyam, we are already seeing it, but we'll revise it. Na ubhayatah pragyam, not the combination of them. Na pragyana ghanam. Pragyana ghanam means that you see nothingness. And this is why, see, the teaching of Vedanta has to provide anubhava at every step. Anubhava means proof. So we have seen Shruti, Yukti, and Anubhava. Anubhava means my own direct experience. It has to be validated. Otherwise, it looks bookish. And that's exactly what it is. There's a lot of sampradayas that talk big thing. But it is no direct experience. Because the ultimate validator is the one that has to say, yes, this is true. So therefore, in the case of, this is very interesting, na pragyana ghanam. It took me also a while to study this. It wasn't really that clear in the beginning. But the more you think about it, this is the nature of, we've talked about it, the nature of prama versus brahma. So pakara, prama, and brahma are opposite. So brahma means an erroneous conclusion is called brahma. And this is very fundamental to the teaching of Vedanta. So we will really focus on that, Brahma. But the nature of Brahma and Brahma are that in the case of Brahma, the more you look into it, the clearer it becomes. So this is what I was saying, that the Pragyana Ghanam, the importance of na Pragyana Ghanam. This is all neti, neti, neti. Na Bahish Pragyam, na Bahish, na Anta Pragyam, na Vata Pragyam, na Pragyana Ghanam, na Pragyam, na Pragyam. This is all neti, neti. Na iti, na iti, na iti. Not this, not this. You are not this. So here, just to revise, the Pragyana Ghanam means you are not the darkness. Why? Why not? Because the darkness is Sakshi Bhashyam. Bhasyam, sorry, not Bhashyam. Sakshi Bhasyam. Sakshi Bhasyam means Sakshat Pashyati. You directly see without the light, without your eyes, without your mind, without the Devata Anugraha. All of that you need to see a metal cup. But the nature of Sakshi, it is so amazing. You know, we use the word amazing rather loosely. Oh, that's amazing. That's amazing. That's wonderful. That's great. That's incredible. We just use those words. There's certain words. This is what Gita says, Ascharyavat Pashyati Enam. So the word Ascharya means amazing, means surprising, shock, positive shock. Because to understand the power of Sakshi is not just a witness as we saw. Of course it is the witness. But imagine how it... So here, probably the thing to grasp is that the Sakshi, which is the ultimate validator, is its own nature. You know what that means, to see the own? That's the Swarupa. You know what that means? It means it doesn't need anything in order to see and to create. Because a Swapnavastha, a dream state, is a creation. It can create if it wants to. And this is exactly what happens during the day. On the Jagrata Avastha, it creates. We will see that in more detail, how it creates. But it creates. And it creates without touching it, without being affected by it. It's just amazing. And also, it's Sarvavyapi. Sarvavyapi means, just look at this part of it. Sarvavyapi means it is there in all experiences. All experiences. Even when there is nothing to see, that also has to be validated by the Sakshi, as we saw. Pragyana Ghanam. So appreciate that fact. During the day, when you and I are functioning, it is there. Nothing can function without being validated by you. During this dream, it functions. And during deep sleep, it is there. Functioning means it is there. And it sees that directly. Yeah, one thing just to confirm what I was saying was, and this is what Shastra points out, you must have heard this over and over again. How do you know that you were there in deep sleep? Because it appears you were not there. Which is true because you as a person was not there in deep sleep. Very obvious. But you were there as a Sakshi. How? Because when you wake up, and if somebody were to ask you, or if somebody doesn't ask you, doesn't matter, your own thoughts are, I slept well. Or I slept. Forget about well. I slept. And sleeping means deep sleep is well. The swapna, the dream can be disturbing or not disturbing, but the sleep is never not disturbing. It is always, the sleep is never disturbing. It is always non-disturbing. So you have an idea that I slept. You could not say that unless you were the witness of the night. So now we can see I, the Sakshi, the ultimate validator, see the presence of it independent of what state you are in, what condition you are in. You're always there. And the other part of that, which we also looked into in the last class, is that this Sakshi, there is only one Sakshi in the whole creation. One Sakshi in the whole creation. There cannot be multiple Sakshis. Please understand this very clearly. Why not? One can ask. What's the problem? You want to know the problems? Okay. You ready? All right. Sakshi means the ultimate validator, right? Because there is an intermediate validator, we saw that in the Drikdrishya Viveka, Rupam Drishyam Lochanam Drik, Tat Drishyam Driktu Manasam, that the eye can see, so it becomes a validator, but it itself is seen by the mind, so it is not the ultimate validator, it is an intermediate validator. So that we saw. And we saw Drigeva Natu Drishyate, that the Sakshi is the ultimate validator. There can be only one ultimate validator Sakshi in the whole creation. We say that rather lightly, whole creation. Just think about it. Whenever there was a past, you think about, Christ 2,500 years ago, Buddha, Krishna, Rama, Vyasa, Rishis. They also had the ability to cognize, just like you and I do. Was there a different cognizer? It's the same Sakshi. Same Sakshi. The essence of all of them is the same. This is why they say that when you recall the name Rama, or you say Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, you are saying, you are me. I am not away from you. I'm not different from you. It's the same Sakshi. In the future, maybe, with artificial intelligence, who knows what's going to happen, this, that, or the other. Viksit Bharat in 2047, long after we are gone, the 80th President of the United States, whatever, future, will there be a different Sakshi? It's the same Sakshi. Why? Why can't there be two of them? Okay, here's the issue. Suppose there are two Sakshis. So one is, let's say you're saying, okay, I'm the Sakshi. You've already sat down on the throne and saying, okay, I'm the Sakshi. And you are a different Sakshi. You also have a Sakshi, but you're a different Sakshi. Look at the implications of that. Whatever you see is not sentient, it is insentient. So that also has to be explained. So what do you mean by sentience? Chaitana vastu, chaitanyam. What do you mean by that? What that means is one that has the ability to see itself and to see others is called Chaitana Vastu, Chaitanyam. Right? So now you have a machine. So let's say there's a cell phone. And the cell phone also has some sound coming up, like, you have a video going on. So there is some power, at least like it's moving. And if there are rockets and cars and they are moving. So it doesn't mean that those are sentient. Why? Because they don't have the ability to see themselves or to see others. And so those are called jada. So whatever is drishyam, whatever is seen, is basically inert. They may be imparted some temporary ability to move and to see and to talk and so on. That's a different thing. But it's like an appliance. There's only one electricity, everything else is an appliance. So therefore, if there is another drik, it has to appear to me as an appliance. And why do you say that? Because I can shut my eyes and it has no power to be a sakshi. I see it, but it cannot see me. And it is jada, and it is vyabhichari. Vyabhichari means that it changes. One time it is there, next time it is not there. So the sakshi cannot be a sakshya. It cannot be seen. It is not a drishya. It is not a scene. There's only one sakshi. And we saw the two dimensions. Remember, this is how we left the last class. We saw the two dimensions. One is that you must be the same sakshi in order to live this life. Why? Because this is the horizontal line. Because you were young at one time, and compared to me, you are still young. But whether you are young or older, the fact that you are saying, when I was young, it is the same sakshi. Because otherwise you won't be able to even talk. You'll say, well, I ask you when you were young. He says, no, I was never young. What? No, I don't know. So that dimension is there. Then the second dimension is between one Purusha and another Purusha. Same thing. There's no it's exactly the same. There's no separate sakshi. It's the same sakshi. And the third dimension we didn't go through was between a jiva and Ishvara. There we need to see same logic. There cannot be two separate sakshis. We saw the Rama and Krishna and Christ and so on previously. So forget about that for a minute. You'll say, well, those people were avatars, they came and went. What about Ishvara today, God, who is present at the moment in this whole creation, as the one that makes the sun rise, makes your heart beat, your blood flow? There's somebody special that you and I don't know about. That Ishvara. What about the sakshitvam of that Ishvara versus my sakshi? Same logic. They cannot be two sakshis. Cannot be. So here, it's interesting. Just look at the logic of this. So when you say, I know something. We say, I know this, I know that. Yes, I know. I know. When you say, I know. Well, let's analyze, I know. Now, can the I and the knowledge be different? Let's look at the implications of that. When you say I know, is the knowledge, jnanam, and you separate from each other? It cannot be. Because, same logic, if there are two separate things, one of them has become Chetana and the other one is Jada. One of them is sentient and the other one is inert. Because you cannot have two sentient things. We've already proven that. There's only one sentience in the whole creation. So when you say, I know, how does that happen? Because you say, I know. This is tantalizing, and we need more time to analyze this, but I'll give you some of the basic answers. It is one and the same. So what happens is that is the same pure Sakshi called Samvit. Same jnanam that splits itself into two parts. And one part is I am the knower, and another part is I am the known. Very much similar to the dream. This is why this dream analogy is the dream, not analogy, just the dream vichara is so important. I think I've already talked about this before, but let me just underscore this point, that I've talked about this, so you must be tired of my saying that, but I just want to underscore it at this point. The creation of the dream is fundamental to the understanding of Vedanta. Why? You know why? Because of the confluence of Shruti, Yukti and Anubhava. What does that mean, confluence? What it means is you need to say something which is real and can be directly experienced. Otherwise, you can say anything, it doesn't really matter. And this is exactly what happens in this life. So the various sampradayas that you see, dharma sampradaya, and this, that, or the other, there's some talking in the satsang WhatsApp group about Hindu philosophy and, all of that discussion going on. I find it very interesting. So there's a lot of sampradayas that talk a lot. And Buddhism is one of them. Everything is mithya, and you keep on saying everything is mithya, mithya, mithya. This is all a function of the mind. There is no mind. If you just keep on saying it, then you will reach it. Reach what? You will reach shunyam. You'll have nirvana. Hey, but all mithyas, it's all talk. It's just, I really amazed. Even I was very attracted to Buddhism in the beginning until I really got to know what the facts are. And so talk is easy. You can even say anything you want to. but the proof. And in order to give the proof of what Vedanta is saying, some proof is necessary. And you know where that proof is? In the swapnavastha, in the dream state. There is where the proof is. None of the other sampradayas have this proof. They cannot prove it. You can say, you can go to heaven next life. Talk. Where is the proof? Whereas in Vedanta, you need to see the proof directly. Vedanta says that there was never a time that you were not there. Sakshi is always there. Even in Pragyana Ghanam, even Bahish Pragyam, Mantav Pragyam, Ubhayatav Pragyam, doesn't matter, it is independent. But what about the diversity that, I know? So there is a knower, there is a known. That diversity is also mithya. How? How can you say that? Dream. So now you can see the knowledge of the self. Hey, it's a fact. See it for yourself. Oh, I don't see it at this moment. Okay, if you don't see it, that's okay. I can understand that. But just take your time. Take your time. This is interesting. So I wanted to just take a small diversion, and hopefully I'll come back to the main. There's a lot to say about the Sakshi and the ultimate validator and all that. But let's take a small diversion. What is that diversion? So, it just occurred to me because when I was saying, I don't see it yet. So then they'll say, take your time to see it. So you should know this. This is an interesting, advanced introduction to Vedanta Shastra. There are two schools of thought on when does one see this very clearly without any doubts. So to become a jnani, where you see exactly what is going on without any doubts, when that does occur. So there are two schools of thought. Okay? One is called Vivarna school of thought, and the other one is called Bhamati school of thought. So they both follow the basic tenets of, so they are not opposed to each other, but they do have some differences in the way a person becomes a jnani. And what are the differences? So two schools again, Vivarna school and Bhamati school. And who created it and how it happened out, let's not go into that. That we can discuss it if you are interested. You can even Google it if you want to, but that's not the point. I just wanted to have you aware of the fact that there are in fact two schools of thought that differ in their approaches a little bit. So let me talk about that. The Vivarna school says that once a person lives a life of dharma, of following the Shastra. Remember, this is the two meanings of Shastra. One is Shasanam and the other one is Shamsanam. Remember we talked about this perhaps in the, I clarified that in several classes, but Shasana means here's how you need to live your life. Don't leave it to your own mind, but to follow a certain structure. Shama, Dhamma, Uparanama, Titiksha, Samadhanam, Shatka Sampattihi, all of those kinds of things. To be kind and to be peaceful and to be to exist in harmony with others. This is the life that one has to lead. And if you keep thinking about that, then at some point in time, you meet a Vedantic guru, right? We saw that Pariksha Lokan Karmachatan Ayat Brahmanaha Nasti Akritaha Kritena Tad Vijnanartham Gurumeva Abhigachet Shotriyam Brahmanishtam. Mundaka Upanishad. So at some point in time you meet a guru, he says, my God, do you know who you are? They said, no. You are not just a person who is peaceful and happy. You are the whole thing. This is called Shravanam. And it happens when you come close to a teacher, lived with that person for a while, and the teacher also says, I think he's ready. Now I can tell him this. So the Vivarna school says that Shravana alone is enough. You don't need anything else. Shravanam. So this is what is called Anga Angi Bhava. So Angi means the stem and Anga are the limbs. So the Angi is Shravanam. And Mananam and Nididhyasanam are Angas. So there is some doubts are there and you just keep thinking about it and you do Nididhyasanam to clarify any doubts, etc. But really what happens is Shravanam. This is where it all occurs. This is the Vivarna school. The Bhamati school says, there's a slight difference. Bhamati says that the readiness and qualifications of Shravanam, of Viveka, Vairagya, Shatka Sampatti, etc. that we talked about, can be done after Shravanam. Somebody says, hey, this is what Vedanta is all about, something unique. So listen to it, but he says, okay, I'm a little busy right now, but okay, let me spend some more time. Slowly, the Shravanam also takes. So the difference is in the Bhamati school that immediately after listening to a guru, nothing happens. But slowly, if you keep on studying, then what happens is that you develop the ability of Nididhyasanam, and then you start to meditate. And you come to understand the same thing. Same thing that was done by the Vivarna school. So the ends are not different. It is how you approach it, there are some differences between them. Swami Akhandananda says that even though they are different schools of thought, they all come together. And it all depends upon you and how you are, how you're exposed to it and so on. So, but there are these two schools of thought that you should be aware of. Vivarna school and the Bhamati school. So in summary, the Vivarna school is the one where Shravanam is the most important, and Mananam and Nididhyasanam are simply consolidating the initial Shravanam. And the Bhamati school says that Shravanam is just the beginning, but you don't complete it until you reach Nididhyasana. I just wanted to just present to you. I guess my own personal experience in life, the way was that to me, Shravanam did it for me. And by the way, the other thing is, in Shravanam also, it is not just the initial understanding that, my God, there is something very amazing. This is what I found with Swami Chinmayanandaji in 1973. But even afterwards, some aspects of it that really make you grasp it much more clearly. And in another case where the Shravanam became very important was my understanding from the teachings of Swami Dayanandji, and maybe that occurred gradually, and also in particularly with Swami Akhandananda. I can tell in the few years, my understanding that I am Sat Swarupa. Sat Swarupa. And this we will talk about in more detail. I'm running out of time. But that also was a point of clarity, that once I heard that and I understood it, that made a big difference about my conclusion about myself. So all I'm saying is that the Shravanam also can be at different times in various aspects of it. Obviously, the whole idea, what is Atma, was the biggest one initially. But the nature of the Atma, that is Satsvarupa. Satsvarupa means one which other things keep on changing, but I don't change. I am the Satsvarupa. That also occurred later. And so all this time, it's not as though my commitment, my bhakti, my study was diminished in any way. But the clarity of this occurs from time to time. And similarly, it's so you and the understanding of these three states as being different from me, occurred when I really started to study the Mandukya with the Karika. And then another thing that really clarified is the Brahma Sutras, the Chatustutri. So those, I will take it up one of these days, we'll have to see that. But for me, the Shravanam was the most important one. So I guess I'm more on the side of the Vivarna school. But doesn't mean that it is not fruitful yet. It is partially fruitful, but I still have to work on it. So both of the schools, Bhamati school and the Vivarna school, are not opposed to each other, but they have a different way of approaching the final goal. So I thought I just wanted to mention that. You can make a note of it and study more about this as your study deepens. So I don't know. That was a diversion that I did. So now to close off, I'll continue on with some more details next class. To close off this third dimension of Jiva versus Ishvara. I haven't finished that, so let me finish it. And that's all the time that we will have. The implications of understanding that there can be only one Sakshi for all the reasons that we went through. There can be only one Sakshi is crucial in applying towards the relationship of Jiva versus Ishvara. This is fundamental to the Jiveshvara Aikyam, the identity between the Jiva and Ishvara. Crucial in understanding. So what it means is that for me to look at Ishvara as being different from me is a mistake that I need to correct. It cannot be. So what I need to look into that is the nature of the difference. Why am I not able to see this? All of that needs to be seen. Because otherwise what will happen is, at this point, see, just look at that. The self, you, when we say the self, you, is always aparoksha. It is not paroksha. It's not away from you. Can you be away from you? No, that doesn't make any sense. So you're always there, Satsvarupa. If you are Asat Swarupa, it's because of you taking yourself to be the body and mind. But you yourself are Sat Swarupa. Right? Okay. And you are Aparoksha. Now you view Ishvara as Paroksha. Not here. Have you ever seen Ishvara? No, not here. Not here. And we never see him. Even if you go to Mahakumbha, where everybody has this great spiritual experience, or going to any sthanam, puja sthanam, temples, etc., you may have a feeling of unity. That unity is tinged with parokshatva. Ishvara is different from me. Once in a while we meet who is different from me. So imagine the implications of that. You yourself are paroksha. You are Satsvarupa. And everything else, including Ishvara, you've relegated into Parokshatva. This is a mistake. This is what we need to correct through our understanding and seeing that can be only one Sakshi, one ultimate validator. You call it yourself at the moment because your thinking is, I am just a limited person. It is just like a wave of the ocean that thinks, yes, I'm made out of water, but I am just a separate person. This is a mistake. The basic aspect of that is it's a common water, same Sakshi. Common water means one Sakshi, one water. And to hang on to a sense of isolation is a mistake. And so when that happens, the Parokshatvam Vishwara goes, and you submit yourself to a larger vision which allows the two of them to be the one and the same. So this is the message of Advaita Vedanta, and we will continue to study this as we go forward. Om Asatoma Satkamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Right, nice. Good to see you all. Okay, we'll see you later. Hari Om.